an RRSP? What are its benefits? To a lot of you, it's still a mystery. So we're here to take a look at it in detail and show you exactly what an RRSP is all about, how it works, how it would benefit you. Welcome to Canada Now. My name is Naresh, this is my buddy Paul, and we're going to go deep diving into RRSPs this week.
Yes.
So, Paul, RRSP. What the heck is an RRSP, man?
Yeah, technically it's a registered retirement fund.
Registered Retirement
Savings Plan.
Yeah. So RRSP stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan. So is it just for my retirement?
Yes, it's basically, you can use it for a couple different things throughout the RRSP contribution. So technically, it's just to allow to save for retirement. That's what the government brought in. It's tracked through your CRA. It's all regulated. So it's meant for retirement savings.
Okay.
But we could dive later into home buyer's plan and a lifelong learning plan where you can also use your RSP for it.
Right.
But we'll talk about that later. But specifically for retirement.
Okay. So now RRSP, anybody can start at any time, no matter as soon as you have a job.
You start working, yeah.
So if I'm in high school, should I start one? And if I have a part-time job?
It's meant for, you could. I had my son, he started it early when he started working. But it goes into like RSP because you're in your high school, you're paying low income anyway,
so it's not
really going to benefit.
So it's better if you're full-time job. You're starting a full-time job. That's when benefits will accrue if you start an RSP.
Yeah, and if you're still in the low income, we'll talk another episode about TFSAs. They might be more beneficial than an RSP depending on your income. Yeah. RSP really works if you have start getting up in the income and you want to alleviate some of that tax. So basically,
there's a dual benefit when you start doing it. You're saving money for retirement and you're saving money on taxes.
Yes. So basically, just initial how it works. So if you make say $60,000 and you contribute $10,000, your taxable income instead of it being 60 is now 50.
50,000.
So you're going to save a little bit of tax. So and so on. So the more you contribute, but you can only contribute up to 18%.
So 18% of your gross income.
Yes. Okay. So now there is a maximum. Last year was $31,560 or something. So there's a maximum, but also because there's not many employer pensions out there as much anymore, but if you do have that, then you got a pension adjustments as well. So that'll take into effect on your full contribution amount as well. So, but if you're self-employed or like you have the 18% max up to a 31,000, then straight RSP.
Now, Paul, some of people who work in the government, sometimes private sector, they have their employer pension plans and all that kind of stuff. So should they still consider getting an RRSP?
That's where you want to sit down with your financial advisor and figure out how much do you want in retirement, because good strong pension plans, you can survive pretty much on those.
Right.
Some may want to use it just for a little bit of tax benefit, so they'll put a few thousand in just to alleviate that tax in the end. What's good is if one person in your household has a pension and one doesn't, and that's where a spousal RSP would be beneficial.
Right.
So, you get the tax benefit, but your spouse will get the earnings later.
So once again, when I save this, put it into an RSP, it's actually is it locked in? So for the retirement, you're saying, is it locked in?
It's not locked in. You can pull out the money anytime you want.
Yeah.
It's basically once you put it in there, it's now registered. You're saving for your retirement. If you want to pull it out, you can, but you're now going to add to your tax. So let's say you make $60,000, you want to pull $5,000 out of your RSP.
Right.
Well, it's going to add to your income now.
So that becomes $65,000.
Yeah.
So you're paying tax on $65 now.
And they'll withhold tax, on different amounts that you pull it out, so they'll be withholding it.
So what you're saying is, for 5,000, as soon as I withdraw it, they take the tax.
They'll take some tax off already.
Okay.
So and then once you go to add file your taxes, then they're going to add that income to it.
So it's a double hit.
Then, well, no, because whatever's taken off, it'll just do adjustment.
Okay.
So, so you don't really, once it's in there, it's meant for retirement.
Yeah.
Save it. Okay, so now like I said, so RSP is the umbrella.
Right.
So you can invest anything you want into it. If you want GICs, mutual funds, all, stocks, bonds, all that stuff. So
everything can be done.
Everything can be done in there, and depending on the duration, like if you're just starting your RSP, you're not going to touch it for 30 years. Then you might want to get some growth in there, and just keep hammering, because all that money that's in there that you're accumulating is tax free. At the point you only start paying tax on it once you start, because eventually you'll have to change your RSP into an income fund,
right?
And then you'll start paying tax off that.
So what you're saying is, once you put money in, do your best not to take it out. So if I want to go on a big holiday, I'm saying I got no money. Well, look at this, I got 10 grand sitting there.
Right. So that's where you got to have your plan. Sit down with your financial advisor. RSP, you're building for retirement.
Yeah.
And then that's where, if you want to go on a trip, well,
stay away from the RRSP.
Yes. That's where your savings or your TFSA will come in handy. But yes,
take a walk to Lakeshore.
Yes.
Lots of places there.
So like the RSPs, there's three types. You got the individual, which is just me putting into an RSP.
So individual, if I'm a single guy, I just started working full time.
Yeah.
And my financial planner is saying, I think, you should have an RSP, because whether you have one at work, it's not going to be enough when you retire, or you don't have one at all, a retirement plan, and then you need one for sure.
Yeah.
So that's an individual. I do it all on my own. I go to a financial planner.
It's your RSP.
I can go to a bank too.
Yeah. Spousal RSP is how it sounds. It's a spousal, but I'm the contributor. I have one myself. I contribute to it, and it's under, my wife owns it.
Right.
She's the annuitant, so she'll get the benefit. Now there's some rules behind that.
No, but I'm sorry, buddy. I'm a little bit confused. So you said you're contributing to it, but she owns it?
Yes.
Or it's in her name?
It's in her name.
So that's a spousal RSP.
That's a spousal RSP, but I get the tax deduction.
But you get the tax deduction.
Yes.
She gets the money at the end.
In the end, yes. So that's where the plan comes in. Sit with your financial advisor. It works good.
Women live longer than men,
So now there's some rules there. Like if you contribute it, like you got to watch as you get closer, right? You contribute plus 2 years,
right?
So you can't take it out, because then it'll affect the person contributing, not the person getting the tax.
Okay.
Because again, a spousal, now she'll be a lower income tax bracket.
So she has to be lower income.
Well, it just works better that way.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So
or without a pension, right?
Or without a pension,
right?
You can still do a spousal RSP.
Yeah, spousal RSP. Yeah, and, anyone can do a spousal RSP, but does it work for your plan, right? So it's just the type.
So it's more tax savings, a little bit more. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So basically, she'll have a lower income in retirement, so she'll get the benefit that way. Right. So another group RSP. Some people do that. So your employer will maybe assist on the, contributing. You contribute, but it's still an RSP. So it's run through your company.
So that last one you mentioned, group RSP, is that one of those where the employer says, if you put in $50, I'll match it with 50 or 20?
Yeah, sometimes the percentage, couple percent, 3% or whatever it is, 5% they'll match.
Yeah.
So that's a group RSP. So it's still considered, it's got the same rules that RSP does. So it's a group RSP. So
it's a group RSP. So in that, so I'm putting money in the group RSP. I know I get tax benefits with individual and spousal.
Yeah.
Am I getting tax benefits with group RSP as well?
Yeah, because it's an RSP, you're still contributing to it. So
because it's still a little bit of a mystery to me, buddy. Because group RSP, so is it run by your employer, or is it like I can't go in there and withdraw money in a group RSP, right? I don't think, probably.
Well, you can move it, but it's meant for retirement, so you don't want to take away from it. So, I mean, you can use it if you want to do a lifelong learning plan or a home buyer's
No, but
plan.
like if I wanted to go on a vacation,
No,
there's
I
some
wouldn't
silly
use that.
people out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Because that's what it's meant for, right? And
Or that F-150 is calling,
just it's
Mercedes?
it's there for
Yeah,
that retirement savings plan. So
Okay.
vacation, no retirement. It's not.
No.
That'll be in your retirement.
No
You can use it then.
BMW.
So yeah, so just so whatever plan works for you. So everyone should have a retirement plan.
Yeah.
Whether you have a good pension or you're using RSP. Like we'll talk another time about TFSAs. You can use those together.
But can you buy an RSP in a TFSA?
No.
TFSA is just a TFSA.
They're
completely
umbrellas.
different things, right?
RSP is an umbrella. TFSA is an umbrella.
So two totally separate things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's totally separate things. Both run by the government. TFSA is also, because if you go into CRA, you'll see what's outstanding, like what you're allowed, your contributions. So again, at the end of the year, you want to make sure you're contributing enough to your RSP. So look at CRA; it'll give you your contribution room, right? Every time you do your taxes, your TFSA contribution room.
So you can go on the CRA website and find out these things.
Yeah, find out, because you want to connect with your financial advisor. And I always recommend, if you can, put a monthly amount away in your RSP.
What is that? That's the benefit of what you used to call it?
Dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging and compounding?
Yeah. So, you put it at the beginning of the year, each month, right?
Yeah.
So you're compounding throughout that year. You're getting the benefit.
Yeah.
And, how they go up and down, right?
Markets do. We
So,
know right now. A bit of a hit happening right now. God help us.
yeah. So,
I think I'm going to go hide in the hills. This is just too much. Can't do it.
It'll all work out. So, if you're contributing $300-400 a month, then every month, so you could be buying.
So what you're saying is, even if, you just started working, you can say, hey, look, all my budget, I've done my budget, this is what's going in, my income, this is what's coming out, and I only have like $100 left. Can I even say, okay, let's put 25 in an RSP?
Yeah, no,
you can
you'll
do
have
that,
to. You'll have to look. Yeah. You can contribute 25
whatever.
every 2 weeks or once a month. Sure. There's most things you gotta make sure there's an initial deposit. Sometimes at $500.
Yeah.
So that gets it open and going.
Okay.
And then after that, normally a minimum is 25 to register. So you want to figure out what your income is, what you want to allot, and what your retirement plan is. If how much am I going to want in retirement?
And
so
we spoke about that last time, because some people may want to just hang out and not travel, and then there's other people who want to travel every month. So you got to figure out what your interests are going to be. In fact, you already probably know what your interests are. Do you love to travel? Do you love to have this or that? And when you retire, you're going to have to cut back on some expenses, because you may not have a retirement plan other than your RRSP.
Yeah, you could just have the RRSP. So you really
have to make it last. Then.
Yeah, you got to make it last. So you got to figure out, well, how much am I going to need in retirement? There's all kinds of calculations, but again, this is where a financial advisor helps. Or if you're with the bank, sit down with them, figure out, okay, this is what I want. Now, again, you make one income at $50,000, let's say, and then you get a pay raise. So this is a good thing about you're going to retirement, let's say, in 30 years. So over that lifetime, you're probably not going to just stay at 50,000. So you're going to increase your RSP can increase. If you get bonuses, you can throw that in there. It's just just be disciplined with it. It's just be consistent. And what I like about monthly, like it's like forget about it. You can forget about it. It's like it just comes out automatically. That's automatically true. Doing it. You don't have to think about it. By the end of the year, because tax season is March 3rd was the cutoff. So you don't have to think, oh, I got to contribute. So and then you're doing a one lump sum. Markets could be high at that point. So try to think if you can budget through and
every
make
month is much better.
Yeah, much better. And then you can. Every year you should be meeting with your financial advisor and discussing, well, can I up it now? I want to up my contributions or whatever, and figure out what you're allowed. So these
RRSPs, one more thing I'll ask you is let's say I'm 50 years old and I just learned what an RRSP is, and I'm wanting to retire at 62, 63 or something, 65 maybe. Does that still kind of, maybe I'm 55, does that give me still some room to do something, which is better than nothing?
Yeah, it's never too late. Again, hopefully you started before 50, but
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
you may have built up a lot of room.
Yeah.
So you can start hammering a lot of money into it if you have it. But yes, I would start investing for RSP. Again, depending on individual, look at your individual circumstance. But if you have nothing, I would, definitely, RSPs benefit to help you save taxes, and then start plugging away. Because if you're not going to retire till 62, you start at 50, well, you got 12 years of investing still.
Yeah.
Compounding's good. I mean, if you can it's just start.
Yeah.
So again, sometimes a TFSA may work better depending on your income. I kind of use the $50,000 range as a, should I invest in an RSP or a TFSA? Maybe TFSA, anything 50,000 and under, maybe do a TFSA.
But TFSA doesn't give me a tax
No, but
benefit.
you're not paying a lot of tax at 50,000. So
Okay.
and again, if you want to max out your TFSA and you want to do a little bit in RSP just to bring that tax down, maybe a couple thousand in it.
Right.
Again, playing with those two is really
Yeah, so
helpful.
again, which is what Paul and I have always talked about, in fact, from our first podcast, is you've got to sit down with a financial planner or somebody at your bank, somebody at your credit union, whatever it may be, and go over all these numbers, what your goals are, what your expenses are, what your income is, and set up a fantastic plan that will help you in your retirement, because that's critical. Retirement is critical. Otherwise, you end up working till you're 95.
Yeah, and some people might, but
Yeah.
again, it's like having a wedding planner. That's you're having a wedding. You get
Yeah,
a wedding
you have a
planner
planner,
for one day.
Yeah.
We're going to retire for hopefully several
That's a good
years.
analogy.
Yeah, and then you want a financial planner. So you want to sit down with someone, because no one's an expert. You can't be an expert at all things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and sometimes you just want to just get that guidance and plug away, and then get you on track, and then keep you on track, right? So again, yes, you're going to spend maybe 30 years investing into a retirement fund. You want to make sure you're good at the end, because you don't want to get there and go, oh, I don't have enough
I don't
money.
have any money. Yeah.
Right? So it is that plan. It's a continuous plan.
Yeah. So put money in RSP. You defer your taxes or save your taxes right now. You don't
You're deferring basically.
Because until you start taking money out of the RSP.
Right. So when you time to retirement, again, you'll take your RSP and you can convert at any time when you retire.
So this
Our
is what I
max
wanted
is
to.
71.
I was leading into that question.
Yeah.
Was, let's say I get 60 and I'm still working part time. Can I start taking a little bit of money out of my RSP?
You can. You just got to make sure if that's tax efficient for you. Yes,
Right.
you could start. You might want to convert it to a RIF. You can do that at 60, 65, whenever. This RSP is going to have to has to be all contributed by 71.
Okay.
So if you turn
so
71
after
in
71,
August,
I can't put any more money in an RSP.
No. So say you turn 71 in August. By the end of that year, you're going to have to convert all your RSP to a RIF.
RIF. What's a RIF?
It's a retirement income fund.
Income fund. So you basically, it's what
You're just taking
the RSP becomes a RIF now.
Yes.
Okay. So you got to start taking.
money out
You
of.
have to.
Yes.
Right?
Well, there's a minimum. You have to take the minimum, and it goes based off your age.
Right,
So if you're
okay.
65, there's a minimum amount percentage.
Okay.
So, and that you can take a monthly, yearly, one lump sum,
Right.
Whatever. So they will do that. So, again, the RSP you can leave it there, but if you're going to start drawing income off it, convert it to a RIF. And again, if you're 65, you don't have to convert it all.
Right.
If you have $500,000 in there, you can convert $250,000 to start drawing off that.
From that, and leave the rest.
Leave
of it
the rest
alone.
in, let it grow or whatever. So
Right.
there's all those different things to think about. So again, sit down with somebody and help you guide through that. So
Now, how does that with since you're talking old age with RSPs? Let's say I'm withdrawing a little bit of money, and you said 250,000 is still sitting in the RSP, and I am no longer around. I pass away, and I'm leaving all that money to my 5 quarrelsome kids. They're gonna fight over it. So does that money just come out and go to them? Because that's what I said.
It depends
in my
who you
will.
have on your beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Again, it's all if you have your will.
What I'm
what's
saying
that
is, does that stay an RSP, or does that?
No, it has to come out of your name, so it'll go to their RSP
or to whatever they can use it as.
Yeah, so it depends because it'll go off. That'll be a whole another discussion.
another episode. Yes.
Yeah, another episode, but
on quarrelsome kids.
Yeah, so you want to make sure, you have your beneficiaries, or if it's in your wife's name or whatever, and that part of the will, so it'll go to them. So they'll have to get rid of that RSP under your name because you're no longer there. But after the will and taxes are done, then you can.
So we can discuss it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a few seniors who are watching who probably are saying when it comes to, if I pass away, then it goes to my the other where I left it in the will. Do I still have to pay withholding tax? This, that, whatever.
So that's
That's
whole new will and taxes and all that stuff.
Episode.
But,
Okay.
just for building an RSP, just make sure you want to start one, or if your employer has a group one, at least. I always say if they have a group RSP, it's free money, really. Right?
Absolutely,
If they're giving you 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is, match, take it.
Take it.
You can have multiple RSPs. You can start your own as well. Outside that, if you want to contribute more.
You can have multiple RSPs.
Yes, as long as it all equals out to the same though. So
the final.
You can't contribute max to all of them.
Yes. No.
So it all under So you can have. I have a couple spousal RSPs and RSP myself. I don't really contribute to the RSP anymore.
Right.
It's more spousal, but the only issue if you start getting too many, you want to you lose track sometimes. So you want to make sure that. You have one RSP for yourself, maybe a spousal RSP. You don't want to get too many, but you can have multiple.
Now, here's the thing, Paul. Nowadays, a lot of people leave, go from this company to that company to that company over, a 40-year career. So I've got, this $10,000 in this group RSP. Now, if I want to leave the company, what happens to this?
Well, if it's just under an RSP, so let's say it's with Canada Life or
a big insurance company or bank.
Or whatever. Yeah. It stays there.
Oh, it just stays there?
Yeah, it stays there. They're not contributing anymore, but it stays there. So you can move it to your other, whatever your next company is doing, if they're doing it. If not, you can move it to whatever. You have a financial advisor, move it to something else.
Something other.
Other
as long as it's an RRSP.
It has to stay in RRSP. So, you can move it. So, it's pretty flexible that way. Yeah, if you change companies, you just say, well, maybe the next company's with Sun Life. Well,
that's it.
Then they could take it if you want, or you leave it and let it grow if it's doing well. Or again, you want to make sure you're on track.
Remember, you do have it. A lot of times people move and then they forget that they had this RSP over there and they start a new one.
Yeah.
And it never gets.
That's why you got to make sure if you're with an advisor, you know where things are.
Yeah,
you want to keep track.
That's why it's critical to have an advisor for a great financial plan.
Yeah, and you just you want to make sure that you have everything. You're on the right track. That's they're just helping you with that, right?
Right. So we got some more stuff that we can talk about.
Well, we can touch base on the home buyers plan. So you can use your RSP.
So RSP is not just for retirement, but you can use it for other things.
Yeah. So the only thing is, if you're all of a sudden you have an RSP and you want to buy a home, you can use the home buyers plan. It's about $35,000 that you can take out of it and put down, but you're going to have to pay that back.
Oh, yeah. So if I use money from my RSP to
there's
buy a
no tax
house,
implications on it.
Only first time can do it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then I have to pay that back into RSP?
Yeah, you get about 15 years to pay it back.
Okay.
So the only issue with that is it's good.
Yeah.
That you want to make sure you're disciplined.
Okay,
so you don't have to start right away. It is deferred a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you take out, you got 15 years to pay it back. So the only negative to this is that you're taking money out of your RSP. So
Right.
what isn't it doing? It's not growing.
Isn't? Oh, yeah, that's
Right,
true. Yeah.
and then you're putting it back,
Yeah.
and then it's growing. Then you're putting it all back. But so there's pros and cons. Yes, it's
Yeah.
going to help you get there. You're not paying tax on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but you got to pay it back within 15 years. So
Now the thing is, when I take it out for a home, first-time buyer, am I taxed withholding tax or
no,
anything?
no.
There's none of that.
You're good.
You take out 35, you get 35.
Yeah,
it doesn't get added to my income.
No. So that's the home buyer's plan. The other one is the lifelong learning plan.
Lifelong learning plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you for education, if you want to use it, again, it works the same type of way. You can only take max 20,000 out.
Okay.
10,000 a year, I think. So you can use it for education purposes and just.
I had no
But
idea
you gotta
about
have
this.
to, yeah, but you're gonna have to,
Lifelong learning plan.
yeah. So you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay it back as well.
Yeah.
Again, you don't want to add it to your income. So it's just there's a couple tools that you can use within your RSP. Whether you want to use them or not. Again, sit with your financial planner. Is it worth doing that?
Now,
Okay.
you know, these you were saying you have to pay them back. If you don't pay them
Yeah.
back, they get added to your income. That's what happens, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it gets added to your income. So you have up to 10 years for the lifelong learning, 15 years for the home buyer's plan.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, not much to the RRSP per se. Just
Right.
basically the benefit is for your retirement.
Right.
Save for your retirement. And
And
it's
we know
not what
that's
we call
critical.
sexy. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a need.
It's an absolute need.
No matter if you're
A lot of
not doing
people-
RSP or just TFSA for retirement, whatever you're using, just retirement. Because
Yeah.
some people, well, it's so long away.
Yeah,
It's so far
this
away.
This is the fallacy that we all have run into. You know, when I was 25, I was thinking, what am I going to put in that? I'd rather buy a car, pay some car payments. Yeah, I need it for that. But the thing is, your retirement gets to you before you know it. You know, you're there, and you're 55, and you're like, well, I got nothing. You know, I don't have a work plan off an RSP. I got nothing. So basically, you're stuck, and you end up working right through to your 75. You know, keep working. However, if you're 25 and you think you really want to retire by 60 and have another life,
Yeah.
then this is where
Yeah.
RSPs come in.
Start using it. But
Yeah.
again, it's just another tool for retirement.
Yeah.
There's other stuff out there. So again, work it with all your tools, right? So you could have a pension, maybe you want to contribute to a small RSP, use your TFSA, because when you go to retire, then you can withdraw off your pension. You don't
Yeah.
have to touch your RSP till you're 71, then maybe convert that to the RIF.
Right.
You'll draw a little income off that, then you have your TFSA as well, then that's tax-free when it withdraws. So
Yeah.
you know you want to play with your tools and figure out what's best and stuff. So really, again, if this is all new to you, sit with somebody, a financial
But
give
you
us some
do.
questions.
Yeah,
We'll
leave us.
answer.
Yeah, we're more than happy to answer your questions. Leave them in the comments because you know what, this is really, it's an important part of your life. You don't want to get to 60 and say, I got nothing. You have no work pension, you have no RSP, you have no nothing. And it becomes harder to work after 60.
Because life comes fast.
Yeah, it does. And it becomes harder to work after 60. You know what? No matter how hard you've worked from 25 or 18 or 19 on working full time, once you hit 60, your body changes, you know, your mental, you know, way to look at things, outlook in life changes. You know, want to
Remember,
enjoy your life.
just starting early, it's compounding.
Compounding, that's a
the
big
key.
thing.
That's the
Compounding.
thing. So you're compounding for your whole 30 years, then it's gonna benefit you. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Paul. So, you know, please don't forget to subscribe, like, subscribe, and share. And it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us with the algorithms. Leave a comment if you have any further questions, please, and also leave a comment if you'd like us to cover some topics in our future episodes. So I hope we managed to clear up some confusion about RSPs. They're an integral part of your savings, not only for your retirement, but tax planning as well. It is a great tool that will help you achieve your retirement goals. Thank you very much for watching today. See you next time.
See you next time.